Immunity Television. We're in the Wigwam. The 4th annual Lions tournament from Forney Gym. My partner, Roy Kiefer, is performing multiple duties tonight. He's introducing the starters for the Blue Streaks of Manheim Township. He is a loyal Gettysburg Lion and helping out here with tournament duties tonight. He'll be joining me courtside for commentary. We'll give you those lineups for Manheim Township. The guards, Mike Kelly and Todd Skolnick. Up front, it's Scott Grable, Jamie Spinagle, and Josh Weaver. Brandon Streeter and Brian Lindsay start in the backcourt. Up front is Greg Richardson. He'll be joined by Mark Raffensperger and Troy Kessel. The Warriors are 4-2. A shocking loss last night to an 0-5 Chambersburg team who ran them out of the gym by 19 points. We'll talk with Roy Kiefer about that at the half. Let's stay right with the anthem. Providing his customary outstanding lens work tonight. And we are the early shift as we work the consolation game. Manheim Central went down to defeat against Southwestern last night. Southwestern will meet Chambersburg for the title. A shocking defeat, as we mentioned, and we'll talk more about that during our Roy on Roundball segment, which will be an expanded affair this evening. We're also joined for statistical analysis by Brian Kiefer and Tom Sixis. Shades of the NBA here tonight, Roy. 3 officials, and that's a real credit to the Lions Club and the outstanding job that you've done in organizing the tournament here. Larry Jones, Crawford Hunter, and David Bray, the 3 men in black and white who will officiate here tonight. Richardson will jump center against Jamie Spinagle. Nice job with the intros, Roy.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. So that'll be an interesting ball game. Gettysburg did not play well last night, neither did Manheim. Both of them need a big performance tonight.
Kessel tied up by Mike Kelly. Possession arrow favors the Blue Streaks.
Jeff, quick comment here as we get started. I learned from Jim Dooley tonight that 3 of the Warriors are really suffering. Troy Kessel found out today he's got walking pneumonia. Greg Richardson's coming off a bout with the flu, as is Mark Raffensperger. See if those 3 players have their stamina with them tonight. They did not last night.
Scott Grable rattled it around and out, so we are still scoreless. And excellent quote by Coach Dooley in the Times. if they weren't sick, we're in for a lot of trouble. And apparently that was the prognosis. Lindsay is awry with his shot, but Brandon Streeter hustles it down.
Well, Brian had a really bad shooting night last night. He needs to get it started early tonight. He's got a big height advantage and should be able to shoot over that young man who's covering him.
He's being guarded by Kelly, who's 5'8", so a full 8-inch advantage, and he'll shoot a pair from the line. It looked like Richardson was open, and if they didn't get him the ball, he was camped in there a long time. So let's see if the referees will make that 3-second call at some point. We talked about that the last time we were here, though. It's a call you almost have to draw just to see how far the officials will let you go.
I think you're right there, Jeff. If they're going to let a big man post in the lane like that, you go ahead and do it until they make the call, then you can be a little more careful.
Lindsay breaks the scoreless dreadlock, and it's 2-0 Warriors just underway here in the opening quarter. We are Adams Community Television, Channel 25 on your Salmons dial, Channel 10 on your PA Classic dial.
An interesting matchup there out front, Jeff, with Troy Kessel on Skolnick. Skolnick's a little quick point guard, played a real nice game for Manheim last night. Troy's going to have to control him.
Grable ties it with a baseline J. It's 2 apiece. Raffensperger, good underhand scoop pass to Richardson for the lay-in, and it's 4-2 Warriors.
That's something Gettysburg didn't do last night. They didn't make the extra pass. They did not get the ball inside at all against a very big Chambersburg team, and they should be able to tonight against Manheim.
Off the back rim is Skolnick, and Lindsay leads the 3-on-1 break. Nice no look to Richardson, who has a quick 4 points, and it's 6-2 Warriors.
Good when you see your big guy running the court like that to get him the ball. Reward him for that hustle.
And perhaps he feels better tonight. Skolnick got a break as he tripped either over his own feet or someone else's, but the call goes against Richardson, a tough call against him, and just in what action we've seen him this year, he does get the tough fouls called against him.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's a big body, and the referees can see him a lot easier than they can some of the smaller players. Good hands there by Kessel.
Kessel slapped it away. Blue Streaks will inbound.
For a big man, Troy is surprisingly quick, both with hands and feet.
That's Spinagle with a jumper, no, and Raffensperger yanks it down. Nice lob over the top. Richardson gets the roll. 6 quick points for Greg Richardson. He was shut out last night.
He was indeed, Jeff. It's good to see him get off quick tonight. Greg Richardson becomes a much better player defensively and rebounding when he's getting touches in the offensive end.
Graybill not shy with a shot. Cans it, and it's 8-4. Graybill has all 4 points for Manheim Township. Kessel drives baseline. Richardson couldn't get it down, but he did a nice job of coming up with a pass.
Yeah, that was a tough pass. It came from very close, and Greg didn't quite have his hands ready. He did control it well. You like to see your big guy finish that shot, though. Greg's got to learn to go up a little bit stronger in there.
He'll get 2. The Warriors only scored 34 points all night last evening. A real shock.
The big problem last night was that Gettysburg had 5 points in the third quarter, 8 points in the second quarter. 13 points and a half is just not going to get it done.
So Richardson is perfect from the line. 8 points here in the early going in less than 3 minutes. He can't maintain that pace, although I'm sure he would like to. Graybill blocked by Lindsay. Loose bodies everywhere. And finally, Raffensperger restores order and gets it ahead to Brandon Streeter for the easy left-hand layup, 12-4 Warriors.
That's something Gettysburg didn't get at all last night. None of those loose balls were coming to Gettysburg. They just weren't hustling for them. And tonight, that's 2 times they've come up with that loose ball.
Graybill again, another rebound for Lindsay. Richardson gets it down to Kessel for the easy jump shot, and it's 14-4. A 10-point lead for the Warriors, taking out their frustrations here early against the Blue Streaks of Manheim Township. A steal by Kessel. He's going to do it himself. Has it spin out, but Raffensperger's there for the follow.
I think Troy was about half undecided whether to pass or take it himself on that, and didn't seem to have his concentration on the shot.
Manheim Township 1-4 overall. The Warriors 4-2. Pat Mowry, the head coach for the Blue Streaks.
Records can be deceiving, though, Jeff. Chambersburg came in last night 0-5, but they'd lost 2 games in overtime and had played all Division I schools.
Yeah, I noticed their opponents. Nice follow by Lindsay, 18-4. They played the CVs and some of the bigger schools, and a much-needed timeout for head coach Pat Mowry. But common opponents, Chambersburg lost to Shippensburg, a team that the Warriors, as I recall, handled fairly easily.
That's right. Gettysburg did beat Shippensburg fairly easy. If I recall correctly, that loss that Chambersburg had was in overtime. The other thing Chambersburg had was they were missing 2 or 3 starters in all their games early in the year. They had some injuries. They had their big 6'5" center, Benny Brous, was out with some chorus obligations early in the year, and they were a much different team last night from what apparently they played earlier in the season.
So a combination of factors worked against the Warriors last night. The sickness, as we mentioned, and maybe a little bit of overconfidence. It's hard not to look at the other team and say, hey, they haven't won a game yet. We can certainly handle them. So maybe that was a factor.
I think that was part of it, Jeff, and I think part of it, too, is the Christmas vacation. Kids are used to going to school, playing night games. It's a little bit different when they're off school. And Gettysburg just didn't react well last night.
Andy Gilberg in the lineup now for the Blue Streaks, along with Tom Leggett. Tony Jones in, or rather that's Paul... Brian Jones, I'm sorry. Brian Jones in there for the Warriors, replacing Kessel. And Grable has all 6 points for Manheim Township. Good hustle by Josh Weaver, but he slapped it out of bounds.
That's something that Greg Richardson has to learn to do better. He has to learn to use that big body of his to block people off and get those passes.
18-6 Warriors, so they've already exceeded their output in the second and third quarters combined from last night by a considerable margin. Nice pass. Richardson has 10. Good assist from Mark Raffensperger, and it's 20-6 Warriors with under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter.
Right now, Gettysburg has their entire first half output from last night.
Weaver, baseline, good. 20-8, his first points of the night.
That was a nice little turnaround. He squared up very well, took the shot strong, and there's a force by Mark Raffensperger. That pass just wasn't there.
Richardson was there, but he wasn't open. And it's Skolnick with a steal. Leggett with the head and shoulders fake, but he did the Texas two-step and got called for the walk.
That's a good call. He made a nice pump fake, but he took off a little bit too soon, didn't get the ball down to the ground before the feet moved.
Sometimes you can fake out yourself. That's what happened on that one. Lindsay, Raffensperger, top of the key. Leggett on him, the pull-up, but prior to the pull-up, again, the walk.
That's a good call. Mark saw they were coming in to take the charge. He had to pull up, couldn't quite get his feet squared away quick enough, and it was a good call.
They go to the zone trap.
I think it's straight man-to-man right now, Jeff. Straight man-to-man, full court.
Not guarding the inbounds passer. And Skolnick able to get it across the timeline, but throws up an air ball. Leggett bounces it home, and it's 20-10.
Well, Skolnick will run back to the bench and tell everybody that should be an assist, that he was planning on a pass there, but I don't think so.
Brandon Streeter threw it away. Lindsay slapped the arm of Andy Gilberg, and he'll shoot 2. A chance for the Blue Streaks to climb back in this thing. They were down by 14 only moments ago. A chance to cut it to 8, and Kessel will check back in.
Manheim played much the same way last night. They got down early. They got down 14, 15 points. They kept fighting back. They'd bring it down to 8 or 9. It would expand back up to 14, 15. They never quite got back in the game, but they never let the other team blow them out either. They're a scrappy bunch of ball players.
The unkindest rim of all. as Gilbert has it rattle out. And he's 0 for 2 from the line. Raffensperger with a yank, and then threw it over the head of Troy Kessel. Kessel replaces Greg Richardson in the lineup, so Brian Jones stays in there.
That's all right, though. That kind of mistake is an error of commission as opposed to omission. He tried to make a play. Those are the kind of errors a coach can live with.
Graybill drives and passes. Leggett, nice follow.
Right man in the right place.
Weaver with a steal. Gilbert down with the ball, and the Blue Streaks a chance to cut it to 6. That timeout was very effective for the Blue Streaks.
Well, Gettysburg had a 20, I believe it was 6 lead, and since then they've turned the ball over 4 straight times.
Graybill, nice job, and it is a 6-point game.
And that's 8 for Graybill already, too.
So maybe it's a time for Coach Dooley to do the TO thing.
Now, you got a quarter coming up in 35 seconds, Jeff. I don't think we'll see a timeout here.
Manheim Township has crawled back in this thing. Good scoop pass. Raffensperger's fouled, and he'll shoot 2. Looked like Skolnick called for the hack.
Actually, from our angle, that looked like a pretty good defensive play by Skolnick. I don't think Mark thought it was a foul because he went right after the ball.
Raffensperger has been the one Warrior who's been consistent game in and game out. And some of the other supporting cast needs to pick it up a little bit. 1 for 2, and Lindsay with a follow. No, Raffensperger gets it back. Blocked. Bryant Jones kept it alive. Warriors lose it.
A good hustle inside, but maybe not the smartest play. With 11 seconds left, perhaps it would have been smarter for Brian Lindsay or Mark Raffensperger to take that ball back outside and run a last play.
Nice dish. Gilbert can't convert the layup. And Weaver called for a pushing foul underneath.
And frankly, that's a real bad foul. With 1 second left in the quarter, you don't want your big man, your only big man, to take that kind of a foul.
And the Warriors have been getting a lot of open layups with the little scoop pass. No chance for Raffensperger. But I think Manheim Township starting to fill the passing lanes, and this is where the bounce pass needs to come in for the Warriors. But I'm sure Coach Dooley will discuss that in the huddle.
Well, Gettysburg's been looking to go inside on every possession. I think what they need now is to take a couple open jump shots and reopen that middle up. Right now, the Manheim defense is starting to sag. You might see Brandon Streeter, Brian Lindsay, Mark Raffensperger even getting open for those 3-pointers now that the Manheim team is more cognizant of Greg Richardson inside.
Big day for alumni here home from college over the holidays. Tony Smith in attendance, Ellen Shoodhaven, Jay Mino, Charles Warren, a veritable who's who. Ryan Raffensperger, very involved in sports journalism up at Syracuse.
Yeah, you realize that he actually goes to school to learn to do this, Jeff? It's hard to believe, isn't it?
It is hard to believe.
And
we do it for nothing.
Yeah, we're just so natural at it.
Well, it's a labor of love. What can I say? Starting lineup back in there intact for the Warriors. Gilbert and Leggett remain for the Blue Streaks. 21-14 as we start the second quarter. Nice pull-up J by Lindsay, 23-14.
Brian's got real good body control on those slashes to the basket. He needs to do that more. Good turnover there by Raffensperger, excuse me. There's that
Streeter from beyond the arc, and it's good. Just what the doctor ordered and just what Roy Kiefer discussed moments ago. They hit a few of those, and it'll open things up in the middle, back to a 12-point lead.
I got to thank Brandon for making me look good on that one.
And he comes up with a steal.
Great pass. Great pass there by Lindsay. Mark didn't know he was open, and all of a sudden the ball was on him. Excellent look down court by Brian Lindsay.
Good location on the pass.
Gettysburg's gone to their fist defense, which is a 1-3-1 zone trap, and right now they're making some nice plays out of it.
Gilbert went for the stick back and got fouled. He'll be going to the line, or will he? He should be shooting too.
It looks like he is. I think that's only one foul on Troy Kessel. I don't believe anybody has more than one foul so far in this game.
3 officials, and they're letting them go at it. But it's been a pretty cleanly played contest thus far.
Yeah, so far you haven't noticed the officials, and that means they're doing a good job.
Gilbert catches in with his first point of the night, and he's now 1 for 3 from the line. 1 for 4.
I don't know what his shooting percentage is, Jeff, but you notice he takes a ball back behind his head on the foul shot. It's got to be hard to sight that shot.
Grable comes down with a loose ball, and Leggett ahead. Skolnick hits the 3. And it's an 8-point lead once again. So a game with ebb and flow. Streeter's open. Can't get it, but Kessel's there for the follow. Rolls it around and down.
Gettysburg actually had 2 guys there for the rebound. Greg Richardson backed off to let Troy have it. They had excellent rebounding position on the weak side on that play.
28-18, Warriors back to a 10-point advantage. Skolberg, good call by the official. Skolnick, rather, was totally out of control. And I thought it was Mark Raffensperger that drew the charge. That is the second one, the second foul on Skolnick.
It's actually Greg Richardson, I believe, that drew the charge, and that's what Greg's got to learn to do. He tries to go up and block shots, and there he's going to get called for the foul. By taking the charge there, he does 2 things. He gets Skolnick in foul trouble, and he avoids that kind of trouble himself. It's a real nice defensive play by Greg, a smart play.
Spinagle back in there now for the Blue Streak. Streeter off the back rim, and Richardson with a rebound. Good look by Raffensperger. And Brandon Streeter couldn't handle it. Some of these excellent passes are just receiver problems. The hands are there, but they're not making the catch.
That's just a lack of concentration, I think, Jeff. That's an important skill in basketball. You have to catch the ball before you can do anything with it.
It's true. Richardson called for a foul. We didn't see it from this angle. But again, it's that big body theory.
I don't think too many Gettysburg fans saw it either, because there was a big moan from the crowd that happened right in front of the Gettysburg bench.
And that's his second. Leggett inbounds to Gilbert. Good. Leggett hits the 3, and it's a 7-point lead. Leggett has 7 off the bench. Lindsay finds Streeter open, and he hits the 3. 6 points now for Brandon Streeter.
That's 8, actually, Jeff.
Yeah, you had a layup in there also. I forgot about it.
And that's what we were looking for. Manheim is definitely packing back into the paint on defense, and Brandon Streeter's making them pay for it.
10-point advantage for the Warriors, 31-21 with 5 minutes to go in the half. Another steal for Raffensperger, and he threw it right back. Skolnick. Oh, tough blocking foul on Greg Richardson, and he will be out of the lineup. I'm not sure he had the feet planted, though. Again, your comment is well taken. That's the kind of foul that he can't afford to pick up with 5 minutes to go in the half. He picks up his 3rd foul, and Randy Lukowicz will replace him in the lineup.
Randy worked his way from about the 13th man off the bench to really play a nice game last night, and he's seeing some early action. He earned himself some time with this play last night.
Ooh, on the line. Spinagle called for over and back as he stepped on the line.
That's an excellent call. That was right in front of us, and hopefully the camera will show how clearly we could see that.
Manheim picks up the intensity on the man-to-man, and Graybill fouls Lindsay. 6th team foul.
That's kind of a silly foul there. Graybill was 2 steps behind Brian and went for a ball that he really had no chance of getting to.
Skolnick on the break. Nice pass, but he walked.
A good defense there. Randy Lukowitz did not foul. He got into good position. Mark Raffensperger came over and trapped him, and that was a nice defensive play. 2 good hustle plays by Raffensperger and Lukowitz.
Graybill with 2 fouls. The only blue streak in trouble. Nice bounce pass. Lukowitz couldn't come up with it. A little behind him.
Yeah, frankly, Jeff, I didn't like that pass, not because it was thrown badly, but because even if Randy Lukowitz catches that pass, there's nowhere to go with the ball.
Graybill's got 10, and it's an 8-point spread, 31-23. Timeout, Warriors.
This is very reminiscent of last night with Manheim Township. They got down early. They just kept scrapping. These kids do not give up easy. They're shooting the ball much better tonight than they did last night, not turning it over quite as much as they did last night against Southwestern, and they're hanging in there. They're a hard team to put away.
Southwestern coached by Al Moyer, the former mentor at Bermudian Springs. Skolnick with 2 fouls, Graybill with 2 fouls, the only blue streaks in any kind of trouble. Richardson on the bench with 3 for the Warriors. And Bermudian and Biglerville lock horns tonight in the finals of the Upper Adams JC's tournament in Biglerville. And we will be making a trip to Biglerville this year, or maybe several trips. We just have to plan the schedule from week to week. All you loyal Biglerville viewers, do not despair. We will be there in Cantor Country for coverage of basketball and wrestling. We've tried to spread the wealth a little bit this year. We've covered now, this is our 2nd boys basketball game. We've had the girls on, and nice pass. Raffensperger for the easy layup from Brian Lindsay.
That's a set play off the inbounds. They ran the same thing last night to start the second half and got a layup out of it and got it again here.
Gettysburg is in the bonus. Skolnick for 3. Too hard off the back rim, and Lukowitz with a pull. Nice pull-up by Raffensperger. Spinagle with a rip. Leggett for 3. He's got 10 off the bench.
He and Graybill are keeping him in it, Jeff. They've got 20 of the 26.
And Paul Prepke in there also now for Manheim Township. Guarding Brian Jones, spin move, and dish. Nice left-hand layup. Way to attack the basket, Brian Lindsay.
That's Brian with 8, and frankly, he looks like a different player than he did last night.
9-point lead for the Warriors, 35-26. Spinagle lost it. And Skolnick unable to complete the steal, guarding Lukowitz.
And he's having a chat with the official, and frankly, I think he's right. I think Randy Lukowitz did hit that ball last, Jeff. We had a pretty good view. It was right in front of us.
Pull up, no. Brandon Streeter called over the top. Skolnick had position, and at 5'8" or 5'9", as he's listening to the program, hard not to foul him when you're going for the basket.
But he had good position there. He boxed out well, had inside position, and definitely was a good call. Skolnick, I think, is probably going to be like us, Jeff. He's going to be a lawyer when he grows up. He's debating the case as to whether it should have been a 1-and-1 or not there.
Next foul will be the 1-and-1 for the Streaks.
Actually, I think both teams will be in the 1-and-1 on the next foul.
Graybill for 3, loves to launch him. Nothing doing, though, and Lindsay comes down with a loose ball. Nice pass ahead to Raffensperger, ducked inside at Graybill and made the layup. 11-point spread, 37-26 Gettysburg.
Brian Lindsay and Mark Raffensperger have hooked up 3 or 4 times now on fast break plays and really getting nice shots out of that break and secondary break also.
Skolnick Spot up Jay in the lane rather than Spinagle foul Streeter, so this should be the 1-and-1.
Spinagle got away with one there. He kind of hit Brandon upside of the head on the rebound. The official was going to let it go. As Brandon put the ball on the floor, he hit him again, and the official decided that 2 chances were enough. He wasn't going to wait for 3 strikes.
Next Monday night, women's basketball, NCAA Division III. I'll be at Gettysburg College. The Days In tournament action. Every Monday night, it's sports on Adams Community Television. The action starts at 7. And I can still say this for another week or two. The perfect prelude to Al, Frank, and Dan. Streeter hits them both. Yeah. And as an Eagles fan, I'm hoping that it's a meaningful game. But the Vikings must lose to the Redskins to keep the Eagles' hopes alive.
No, this is terrible, Jeff. We got an official from 3/4 court away trying to overrule a call, and the official right here saw it quite plainly. The ball did tip off 34. That's Krupke's hands. That was a good call. And the official who made the call had enough guts to stand there and say, no, I saw it, and send the other gentleman back to his position.
It was a rhetorical question. They got it right. So after a brief confab, play continues. They're calling it consistently, too, as Skolnick called for the blocking foul, and that's his 3rd. So he may sit out the final 85 seconds of the half and will, as Gilbert checks back in.
And once again, Mr. Skolnick is arguing to the jury. And again, I think he's going to lose the case. That's 8 out of 9 from the line for Gettysburg this half, Jeff.
Was that 12 for Streeter?
I believe that's correct.
So 2 Warriors already in double figures. Richardson with one of the quickest 10 you'll ever see. Leggett walks.
And he got away with that. He actually pushed into Mark Raffensperger, or I guess that was Brian Lindsay down there. And the official gave him a break and called the walk instead. Got a minute 16, minute 15 to go here. If Gettysburg can put on a little spurt, they can open this game up.
15-point lead is the biggest of the game. Nice soft touch by Lukowitz on the layup, and Brian Lindsay has had some excellent assists thus far tonight.
Yeah, Brian's playing a very good game overall tonight. He's scoring, he's making good passes, he's come up with a couple loose balls, done a nice job on the boards. Excellent first half for Brian.
Leggett with an air ball. Lindsay, no, by Raffensperger. And Weaver with a yank.
And Mark's jump shooting just isn't there. I don't know whether that's from the flu or what, but he just doesn't have the touch the last 2 nights from the jump shot.
25 seconds in the half. The lead is 17. Graybill, nice assist. At least it would have been an assist, but Gilbert missed the peeper. 10 seconds now in the half. Graybill with a pull-up prayer / air ball, and
he's got time to get it off if he pulls up.
A good job by Lindsay to get the shot away. And it's a productive half for the Warriors. They exceed yesterday's total by 9 in the first half alone and lead Manheim Township 43-26. We'll be back in 2 minutes with an extended Roy on Round Ball. We're at the half, Roy on Round Ball, the expanded version. And with us, our guest, Terry Seitz of the local Lions Club. And Terry, congratulations to you and the entire Lions Club for an outstanding job here at the tournament, the 4th annual. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the tournament's history and its purpose?
Well, like you said, it's our fourth annual Lions tournament. Its main purpose is to raise money for the Lions Club. It's probably one of our 2 largest fundraisers. Plus, just to help the local youth in the community. A lot of our money that we raise from this does go to the, it's not only the basketball here, we get the midget football, we get the booster clubs,
Another
soccer.
organization near to my heart, Little League.
Little League, yep. Then also the local Adams County United Way. We help out there. There's over 25, different organizations that we donate money to, and this is one of our largest fundraisers.
I wasn't here last night, but I understand the house was packed. You had to be pleased with that.
Packed last night. We hope for a little bit better results last night. We probably could have filled it up a little bit better tonight, but that's the way it goes. They've given us a lot of good years, a lot of exciting games over the past couple of years. It's just too bad Gettysburg had a bad game last night. It all happened at once. But the last years, we appreciate what they've done for us, too.
And the teams obviously enjoy it also. They keep coming back every year.
Yeah, the teams, if you recall, the first couple of years we had Waynesboro was a team that was in it. They dropped out because of scheduling problems and playing Chambersburg a couple times over the year. So when they dropped out, there were numerous teams that wanted in. So Southwest, a local team that we could get a lot of support, not too far away, really worked out well. Of course, Southwest did well last night also.
And Chambersburg enjoys coming over the mountain and attending this tournament. Outstanding job by you and the entire club. Very best wishes to you for a Happy New Year.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Terry Seitz. Roy, your impressions of the first half?
Well, it's a different Gettysburg team tonight, Jeff. The team that was here last night, 5 guys wearing Gettysburg uniforms, I'm not quite sure who they were. They got no rebounds. They gave up a lot of offensive rebounds last night. Were beat to every loose ball. Just didn't seem to have their heads in the game. Part of that's because of the illness we talked about in the first half. Part of it may be due to Christmas vacation, etc. But it was not a good performance. Mentally, it was not a good performance by the Warriors. Tonight's a lot different. More heads-up play. They're scrapping harder on the boards. We saw some diving on the ground for loose balls, getting out on the fast break that we didn't see at all last night. It's a completely different Gettysburg team. This half was the kind of team that we expected to see this year out of Gettysburg. A smart ball club, good shooters, and can get out and run with you if they want to.
An interesting season thus far. The Warriors have found a way to win a couple of close games, and they're still undefeated in the conference, so don't give up on the Warriors by any means as a result of last night. And sometimes from a coaching point of view, a loss in the long run can serve the cause well, and I think maybe Dean Smith may feel that way about that loss to UMass. I hate to bring it up, but...
Well, I think you're exactly right, Jeff, and I really thank you for bringing that up. Of course, Carolina's back to number 2, and there is a tournament at the end of the year, so the rankings don't mean too much in basketball like they do in football. But I think you're right. An early loss, especially a non-conference loss like the one last night, like the one to Scotland, really doesn't hurt a team if they can learn from it. It looks tonight like Gettysburg has learned from that loss. Let's hope it carries over more than one game.
And sometimes a team can get caught up reading its press clippings, and it's a good value lesson that when you come out flat, you can get a defeat handed to you readily. And that's what Scotland did, and that's what Chambersburg did to the Warriors last night.
One thing Gettysburg's got to remember is this is not the same team as last year. They're not starting off where last year's team left off. They have to find their own footing and work their way back to the level they were able to reach last year. And there's going to be some bumps along the way. Hopefully they'll be few and far between, and we'll see more good performances like the first half tonight.
All right, we're going to switch right over to second half action. Blue Streaks inbound. And now Raffensperger with another steal. Warriors look to reload, and now they turn it over. 43-26 the score. The ever-popular feature, Roy on Round Ball. We'll have it every time we're here at Forney Gym. Graybill for 3, and he's got 13.
He's played very, very well tonight, Jeff.
He knows he has to create the offense, and he's not shy with the shots. He's been getting a large percentage to fall. Raffensperger looks to penetrate, soft touch, and gets the roll.
A nice play and a nice screen up top, too. I didn't see who it was. Really screened his man off nicely. And if our fans notice, there's one big change for Gettysburg in the second half. Troy Kessel really feeling the effects of his illness is on the sideline, and Brian Jones, who had a nice first half, is in there starting this half for the Warriors.
And he does match up well with Skolnick, but Kessel was holding his own with that quickness matchup. Richardson with a block against Weaver. some statistical highlights, compliments of Tom Six's first half scoring for the Blue Streaks. 10 by Grable, 10 by Tom Leggett. Skolnick with 3, Weaver 2, and Gilberg 1. Brian Kiefer keeping the Gettysburg side of the ledger. Leading scorer Brandon Streeter with 12. Greg Richardson with 10. Mark Raffensberger 7. Skolnick gets it down. Brian Lindsay 8. Randy Lukowicz 2. Troy Kessel 4. Over the top to Richardson, and he starts the second half the same way he started the first with easy layups.
That was a real nice pass. They beat the weak side help there by getting the ball in quickly when Weaver tried to front him, and Greg knew what to do with it once he got the ball in his hands.
Grable dumps it down and out of bounds. That was Spinagle who couldn't come up with it.
They were looking for a backdoor cut there, Jeff, and the man went back door and the pass went out the front door.
Mark Raffensberger, the leading rebounder in the first half for Gettysburg with 4, and Richardson is fouled. According to Tom Sixes, no one with more than 1 rebound for Manheim Township in the first half.
I think that's the 3rd foul on Grable.
So Grable, the leading scorer, is in trouble with 3 fouls. Weaver runs down the loose ball. Grable fires and hits. It's a 13-point margin. Grable with 16. Unofficially, Grable with 16 points to lead all scorers in the contest. Streeter and Richardson lead the Warriors with 12 apiece. Richardson too hard off the back rim. Brian Jones, so unselfish, dished it back to Richardson, who got fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2.
That's a nice play by Brian Jones. He's really in there scrapping, playing good defense. He does good things out there in the court. He's not going to score a lot of points, but he does real nice things.
Coach Jim Dooley's assistants are Mike Lilly, Eric Maitland, Chad Mott, and Lou Smith. The managers, Jonathan Hoke, Steve Tawney, and Greg Kyleholtz. And the statisticians, Jessica Gantz, Rachel Broadbeck, Amy Nye, Heidi Schreiner, Lisa Golden, and Megan Taylor. And they can almost keep track of beads of sweat with that stat crew.
And a partridge in a pear tree, I think, Jeff.
Richardson hits the first. Manheim Township, conversely, with but 2 statisticians, Lisa Backus and Jess Wentworth.
Good call there. Brian Lindsay scrapping for the offensive rebound, went over the back.
Coach Pat Mowry's assistants are Jim Kreider, Chris Martin, Jim Croyle, and Bill Baldwin. The manager, Kevin Linton, and the video expert, Dave Arnold. Skolnick looks to penetrate and now pulls it back. Brian Jones, tough D on him.
Yeah, Skolnick looks like he's actually trying to muscle Brian Jones, and I don't think that's going to work.
Graybill again from 3. He's hot. He's on fire. He's got 19. 9 already in the 3rd quarter. Single-handedly keeping the Blue Streaks in this thing. It's an 11-point lead. Pull-up J by Mark Raffensberger. No off the back rim, and Leggett with a pull. Timeout, Manheim Township.
Kind of an unusual timeout there, Jeff. Manheim's come out strong in the second half. They've hit 3 threes out of Grable, 2 from Skolnick. They've cut the lead down to 11 points, and Coach Mowry decided there was something there he needed to talk about. Maybe he wants to make sure they get a set play run for Grable here. We'll see. Sort of an unusual timeout, though.
No question, the momentum had shifted, and you run the risk of having that momentum fizzle.
I think you'll see Gettysburg come back with some kind of a set play, too. Maybe look for a dump inside to Greg Richardson, or perhaps the 3-point from Lindsay or Streeter circling around that arc out there. We'll see.
Next week, as we mentioned, the Days In tournament from Gettysburg College. Coach Mike Kirkpatrick's Running Lady Bullets will showcase their wares, and we'll be there. And don't forget live programming into your living room Wednesday, January 19th, it's Act Vision. And January 26th, Act naturally returns after a lengthy vacation. We want to thank our sponsors throughout the year. Oh, Graybill is just lighting it up.
And that was a set play, Jeff, as we called during the timeout.
And it's an 8-point differential. Graybill with 22. Steal. And now the Streaks get it back as Spinagle and Richardson disentangle. Graybill, good pump fake. Oh, laid it to Spinagle, and he should have just fired it. Nice bounce pass, but excellent defense by Skolnick, hustling back to flood the lane and make the steal.
Brandon just waited too long to make that pass. It was the right man, but the wrong time.
And he did telegraph it and let Skolnick get back in the defensive pattern. Gilbert throws it away.
And they're looking real hard for Graybill right now.
As well they should with 22 points. He's been outstanding.
Here's a change that I sort of expected. Troy Kessel coming in. We'll see if they switch defensive assignments here and Kessel stays on the point guard or whether he'll move over and cover Graybill for a while.
He is trying to set a screen, and bodies are flying. Kessel, nice spin move. Too hard with it, though. And Leggett with another rebound. Graybill stops and pops. 24 points for Graybill. He's in a zone of his own. Timeout, Coach Dooley. Manheim Township has outscored the Warriors by 11 here in the third quarter and cut the spread to 6. It's 48-42. Gettysburg, they've only scored 5 points this quarter. Shades of last night.
Well, what's interesting is Manheim Township has cut that lead by 11, and Mr. Graybill's cut the lead by 9 all by himself. He's come out this half, hit 4 threes and a 2. He's 5 for 5 with his shooting, I believe, has that 1 turnover, and I think Coach probably told him, whatever you do, don't pass anymore. Keep shooting. Shoot till you miss one.
Yeah, that's why that little turnover, when Spinagle couldn't come up with it, you're right, he should have shot the ball.
I think right now that Coach Maurer would be happy if Graybill started shooting during the timeout. If he goes to the bathroom later on, I think the coach wants him to shoot from there. Until he starts missing, I think Coach wants Mr. Graybill to look at that basket.
24 for Graybill. Kessel to inbound. He had 7 last night. Thank you, Roy. You read my mind. So he's helped his average considerably. Looking for a spot on the all-tournament team.
Well, speaking as one of the voters, I think he's got a vote so far.
Lindsay from beyond the arc, yes!
Big shot for Gettysburg. They needed to break that run. Brian Lindsay put it in nice off a nice cross-court pass from Mark Raffensperger.
They go to the fist defense, their zone, and Raffensperger can't run it down. 51-42, Lindsay's trifecta puts the Warriors up by 9 with 2:17 to go in the third.
And the young fans watching the game might be yelling, kick, kick, as that ball definitely went off Mark's knee. But it's not. It's a good call by the official. A kick has to be intentional, and that pass was just thrown into Mark's leg as he ran forward. It's good officiating on that play. There's Graybill again.
Scorched earth policy for Scott Graybill. He's got 27, well over half the points for Manheim Township, and it's a 6-point game once again. Streeter looks to drive. Raffensperger looked like he was fouled by Leggett, but no call. Gilbert called for the travel. Manheim Township turns it over once again. Scott Graybill, 27 points.
6 for 6 in the second half, Jeff. 5 for 5 from beyond the three-point arc.
An impressive shooting display. Oh, and he steals it. Lindsay was going to shoot, and he saw Raffensperger cut into the hole, and Graybill came up with a steal. So Graybill is still perfect as Raffensperger fouls Skolnick.
That's a frustration foul there by Mark. He's the one who's trying to cover Graybill, and instead of going around that screen, he just shoved Mr. Skolnick and put him right down on his back.
Spinagle and Prepke replace Gilberg and Weaver. Skolnick finds Leggett, and Graybill's open. 30 points. And it's a three-point game. They can't just leave him that wide open. He had 3 seconds to get off the shot. (51-48). Manheim Township has outscored the Warriors by 14 here in the third quarter, and Richardson walked with it. 52 seconds to play in the third. Graybill is unconscious. He's had 30 of the team's 48 points. Any question who their go-to guy is?
I don't think there is tonight, Jeff. And for a team that shot so poorly last night, it's just an incredible shooting display tonight.
He's got 20 this quarter. 20 points in a quarter.
20 points in about 6 minutes, actually.
7 for 7 shooting, 6 threes, a 20-point third quarter. Leggett nearly lost it. 15 seconds, Skolnick looking for one shot. And it's going to be Graybill launching it. He hits it again with 4 seconds to go, and we're tied. A 23-point third quarter for Scott Graybill, and Coach Dooley was impressed. He said something to the young man.
Jeff, I've never seen anything like that in my life. College, pro, high school, optimist, nothing. That's just an incredible quarter.
A perfect quarter.
I don't know if Manheim Township is taping this game, but if they have this on tape, they ought to be sending it to every scout in the country, because I don't think anybody could play a better quarter than Scott Graybill just did.
A perfect 8 for 8 from the field, including 7 threes. The one shot that was earned, there was a foul call that saved his perfect quarter.
I think the whistle threw him off there, Jeff. Whistle blew just in the middle of the shot, and I think that destroyed his concentration.
He knew it wouldn't count anyway. He didn't want to waste it. 51 all with 8 minutes to play.
I guess Pat Mowry's got to think about giving Graybill a rest here. What do you think, Jeff?
No way. He scores 23 of the team's 25. I don't even know who had the other 2. Skolnick. He outscores the Warrior team in the half, 23-8. A poor pass, and Graybill came down with it.
And Gettysburg is a very rattled team, and here's the change that I was looking for. Kessel in covering Graybill. He doesn't care.
Graybill sticks it back, and he's got 25 in the half, 35 overall. Shades of Pete Maravich. And it's not a poor analogy at this point. Troy Kessel couldn't get the roll, but he'll shoot a pair.
Nice interior pass, though.
And the whole Warrior team virtually in awe of Graybill. They need to stop admiring his shots and get some hands in his face. Skolnick's got 4. So Gilberg returns, and that does hurt the Blue Streaks. Skolnick's their ball handler. They need somebody to get it to Graybill.
Well, I have a feeling the way Mr. Graybill's going right now, if somebody doesn't pass it to him, he'll just go steal it from his teammates and shoot it.
So the first lead of the contest for Manheim Township, now it's a tie game, but they trailed by 17 at the half. It looked like a blowout. 35-point effort by Graybill. Gilbert got it, and he's fouled by Kessel. Shouldn't be a shooting foul. They'll just inbound.
Yeah, it's only the fourth foul or third foul maybe on Gettysburg and a half, so it's definitely not shooting. And Troy Kessel's going to be following Mr. Graybill everywhere he goes right now.
7:16 to play in regulation. Kessel wanted the 5-second call, didn't get it. Leggett with a pull-up, no.
Thank you.
And Kessel with a yank, ahead to Lindsay. Warriors look to run the floor. Streeter thinks better of a three-point effort, and Lindsay can't get it down, and he's fouled by Paul Prepke.
I think right now the Gettysburg's got to thank Mr. Leggett for taking that shot. Unless you have a layup from Manheim Township right now, I think the game plan ought to be get it to Mr. Graybill until he misses.
9 for 9 now in the second half. Unreal. We're tied at 53. Lindsay with a chance to untie it.
And of those 9 for 9, Jeff, there haven't been any layups. He's had one two-pointer, and that was from about 12 or 15 feet. He had another rebound follow-up with a man in his face, and everything else has been from beyond the arc.
Astounding. And Lindsay hits one of two to give the Warriors a 1-point lead. You fans who drifted away at the half and have just come back, you missed an incredible shooting performance by Graybill, and I guess it had to end. But Lindsay loses on the baseline, so Graybill now 9 for 10 in the half.
But he is human. That's the first signs of humanity this half.
Leggett and Lindsay. Graybill again, yes! It's a 2-point lead, he's got 38.
Maybe I spoke too soon, he's not human.
10 for 11 shooting, including 8 threes. Must be some kind of a gym record, I don't know, but Kessel, nice pass to Raffensperger, and we're tied at 56. Graham did not have any threes in the first half, 8 here in the second half. Gilbert ran it down. Leggett walked.
Troy Kessel coming out. He's been chasing Graybill for the last 3 or 4 minutes. He needs a breather. Brian Jones coming in. Let's see if he goes on Mr. Graybill. Brian could maybe match up muscle for muscle with him.
Just plowed into him to introduce himself in the paint. Streeter, nice pass.
A nice entry pass by Brian Jones. Unfortunately for Gettysburg, the foul was made on the pass, and it'll just be an out-of-bounds play.
Leggett's second, 5:35 to go in regulation, and Skolnick can sit no longer. Coach Mowry needs the ball handling, and he'll go with 4 fouls.
That's a good decision. Skolnick is definitely the heart of this ball club, despite the way Mr. Graybill's shooting. Skolnick's the one that gets it started for him, and they need him in there.
Raffensperger has a layup.
13.
He's got 13 on the night.
Skolnick for 3 from right off the bench. Didn't even bother warming up first.
So he puts the Blue Streaks back in front. Lindsay tries to answer.
Brian committed a cardinal error there, not missing the shot, but not following the shot afterwards. The ball came right back to where he shot from, but Brian was falling away.
Good point by Tom Sixes. Tony Jones and Brent Conover have not yet seen any action.
The foul on Brian Jones, a little bit too aggressive fighting through that pick. Put a pretty good shot on Mr. Skolnick.
Skolnick's 3 put the Blue Streaks back in front by a point. He'll try again, yes! He must have tried some of that magic powder off the hands of Scott Graybill. A 4-point advantage for Manheim Township. You were right about this team not knowing the meaning of the word quit. And it's a timeout for Gettysburg with 4:50 to play. In regulation, they trail. Yes, they trail by 4.
17-point lead at halftime, Jeff, and it's been the Grable-Skolnick show since then. Skolnick's come out and hit 8 points. Everything else has been scored by Mr. Grable. And the two-man team, they're just carrying Manheim right now.
Grable's been true to the team name. He's been shooting a blue streak. Will someone wake him up, please? At least if you're rooting for Gettysburg, that's the hope.
Well, as I said, last night Manheim shot maybe as bad as a team as any high school team I've ever seen play. And tonight that's totally different. Primarily because of those two men, because of Skolnick, and really because of Grable, who's just shot the lights out here in the second half.
Skolnick has 3 threes in the game, 11 points overall. So other than Leggett and Skolnick, they've gotten exactly 2 points from the rest of the team. Leggett, Skolnick, and of course Graybill, they've gotten, yeah, that's 1 for Gilbert. So 3 points from the rest of the team. Nice pass, and Raffensperger's fouled.
That's the 4th time Gettysburg's used that play to start a quarter or after a timeout, and it's worked every single time.
They set a pick away from the ball and have somebody crash the baseline, and Raffensperger was open. He'll shoot 2. Gettysburg in the bonus.
Little offensive-defensive change here for Manheim. They had Krepke in there for defensive purposes. As soon as there's a dead ball situation, Skolnick with the 4 fouls comes right back in.
Weaver back in there as well, and Raffensperger draws the Warriors within 3. 4:45 to go in regulation. He hits them both, and it's a 2-point game. Double team by the Warriors. Gilbert. Spinagle now double teamed. Grable's all alone, having a confab. And Brian Jones with a steal. Streeter forced the 3. But Brian Jones with a nice job on the rebound. No foul called, and Skolnick's away with it. Weaver can't get it down, and Richardson with a block. Raffensperger with a yank. Warriors a chance to tie. Nice pass. Richardson open on the baseline. He's got 14.
All tied up again, Jeff. 4 minutes to go. This is turning into a real Donnybrook.
That's what we love. 62 all. Graybill finds Weaver. He's triple teamed, leaving Graybill open. No! Brian Jones with a rebound, and now he walked. Tough break for Brian Jones. He hustled and just couldn't control.
He did. He hustled hard there. And Gettysburg's in that fist defense again. See if they go man-to-man on the inbounds. It looks like they are.
Skolnick traveled. So Warriors a chance to retake the lead.
I was watching off the ball there, Jeff, watching Grable and Brian Jones. They set 4 picks for Grable after he brought that ball inbounds. Brian Jones fought through every single one of them. Here comes Troy Kessel. It's going to be his turn to chase Grable. Skolnick goes out in that offensive-defensive substitution for Manheim.
One of the most amazing shooting performances you'll see at any level. Scott Grable with 38 points has single-handedly brought his team back from the brink of a rout, and it's tied. Lindsay for 3, no. Kessel cleared out a little too physically and fouled Weaver. Second foul on Troy Kessel. 3:12 to go in the 4th quarter.
And that's not too bad a foul. It's a foul of being active, going for the ball. It's not in a shooting bonus yet, so it's not a bad foul for Troy.
The Gettysburg Lions Tournament Consolation Finals. Graybill guarded by Kessel. Skolnick had Spinagle cutting, but they pull it back out. Try to work the good shot. Richardson fouled Spinagle. Next foul will be the 1-1 for Manheim Township.
That is 4 on Greg Richardson with 2.5 minutes to go, 2:46 actually. Probably not a big difference, but that is Greg's 4th.
Both teams will be in the bonus when the next Gettysburg foul occurs. Now they light the bonus light. That was the 6th team foul against the Warriors. 62 all, 2:44 to play. A pulsating finish to what started out as a yawner. Weaver's open and nails it. The overplay didn't work for the Warriors, and they trail by 2, 64-62. Richardson, nice feed from Raffensperger. He's got 16. And we're tied again at 64 all. Graybill, no. Skolnick with a rebound for 3, no, and Raffensperger with a rebound. Streeter, too short, had it clang off the rim, but ran down the long rebound. Nice entry pass. Richardson's got 16.
Actually, I think that's 19, Jeff.
19 points for Greg Richardson. Another good feed by the Warriors. And Richardson has had all his points in the paint.
Great hustle by Troy Kessel there. He's just made up his mind. He's got to keep the ball out of Graybill's hands.
66-64. Skolnick. Gilbert is open. Nice drive by Gilbert. Andy Gilbert for 2, and we're tied again at 66. 1:20 to go in regulation. Spinagle slapped it away, but Raffensperger got it back. Nice lob over the top. Good play by Weaver. And Larry Jones saw it a different way. Thought Richardson tipped it out of bounds. It gives the ball to the Blue Streaks.
That's a bad call, Jeff.
Coach Mowry with a timeout. Let's give a statistical recap. Richardson, 19. Raffensperger, 15. Leading scorers for the Warriors. Brandon Streeter has 14. Brian Lindsay, 11. So 4 players in double figures. Kessel with 6. Lukowicz 2, and Brian Jones has not scored. 38 points for Scott Graybill. Skolnick has got 11, and Leggett 10. Other scores, Weaver's got 4, Gilbert 3, and we're tied at 66 all. Rebounding leaders for the Warriors. Brian Jones had 3 in his short time out there. Other stats incomplete. Thank you, Brian Keeper. And thank you, Tom Sixes. Tom was worried I was going to hand his stats to Brian. Not so.
With a minute left in the quarter, it'll be interesting to see if Manheim holds for one. If they do, who do you think they'll want to take the last shot, Jeff?
Let's see. Rhymes with Ray still? Graybill, how about it?
And I wouldn't drop off Mr. Skolnick either.
He's shown he can nail the 3. They may be working for the last shot. Both teams in the bonus, so you don't want to foul here. Kessel shadowing Graybill. Skolnick guarded by Brandon Streeter under a minute to go. 40 seconds in the quarter. We're tied at 66. Jeff Cook along with Roy Kiefer in what has turned out to be a Donnybrook.
30 seconds, Jeff. They've held for the first half minute. Now it looks like they're going to run some kind of a pattern offense.
"15 seconds. They got to get off a shot here. Skolnick. is stripped. Ahead to Kessel. We're going OT. We are going overtime. Tied at 66.
And I think the official swallowed his whistle there at the end. Troy Kessel was absolutely run over from behind. The trail official ran up pointing at the clock saying the foul came after the buzzer. Clearly it did not. The lead official just swallowed his whistle. He just wasn't going to make a call.
Well, it might have been a makeup call because it looked like Skolnick got a pretty good shot there near the foul line.
I don't think so, Jeff. Brian Lindsay blocked that shot basically just standing there with his hand straight up. I think that was a good no call and a good defensive play by Brian.
It's moot because we're going to OT. We're tied at 66, 3 minutes on the clock.
It's just a great game, Jeff. Boy, Grable and Skolnick have really kept Manheim in there. As we talked about earlier, this team just has no quit in it, and neither does Gettysburg. A lot of teams, when they came out and saw two guys shooting like Grable and Skolnick did in this second half, they could have packed it up very easily, and the Warriors didn't, and that's to their credit.
They went down by 4 and battled back promptly. We're tied at 66. An extended session, OT. Spinagle and Richardson will jump center. This matchup should favor the Warriors. Richardson has had an outstanding game with 19 points. Lindsay runs it down.
See if they're going to run a set play off the timeout. There it is, but the pass was forced a little.
And Brandon Streeter with a hack. Good person to foul, though. Spinagle has not scored.
Has not been to the line either, Jeff. It's a tough situation. You've already played the full game. You're in overtime, and you're going to walk up to the line now for your first foul shots. I'm not sure he's taken a shot earlier in the game either.
If he has, it was an unsuccessful effort. He's scoreless.
But he is a senior, and let's see if that experience will pay off.
Puts the Blue Streaks in front by a point, 67-66 with 2:45 to play.
He looked pretty smooth on that one.
Rolled it down, and it's a 2-point advantage. Manheim Township with their second lead of the game. Timeout, Warriors. Stay tuned for the Jim Phelan Show immediately following tonight's game. Yes, with the Jim Phelan Show, we have a copy of that program produced by the Frederick Cable Company, and we're going to showcase the Mountaineers of Mount St. Mary's. We enjoyed bringing you that contest a couple weeks ago and hope to get back down to the Mount later in the season.
Well, they've had a tough week this week. A heck of a road trip for them. They went down, played Georgia Tech, then they went farther south and hit Florida State, and on the way back up got beat by West Virginia last night. 3 pretty big scores, big losses for the Mounties. But the advantage for that is they make some money on those games. It's good for recruiting, and hopefully that'll help their program in the years to come.
Yeah, and they play a team like Georgia Tech, who beat them by 17. Not that bad a score. And then Georgia Tech turns around and plays Temple real tough. I don't know how that game ended up.
Well, Georgia Tech beat Temple. Travis Best scored 7 points in the last few minutes to win that game for him.
So they turn around and beat one of the top teams. As you mentioned, a tough schedule for Coach Jim Phelan and the Mounties as they get ready to start Northeast Conference action. Lindsay had Raffensperger open momentarily, and now he'll shoot the 3. Too hard off the back rim. Raffensperger called over the back.
And it's Spinagle again going to the line. He just stepped up and hit 2 30 seconds ago.
.2:16 to play. Jamie Spinagle returns to the free throw line. He's been perfect, 3 for 3 at crunch time.
It's a senior stepping forward, Jeff. He hasn't been a lot during the game. He's been a role player. But down the stretch here, the last 3 foul shots, nothing but net. And that one he pulled up real short on.
But he has all 3 points in overtime for either team, and that represents a 3-point lead for the Blue Streaks. 2 minutes and change to go in the first overtime. Manheim Township with a 3-point lead, 69-66. Raffensperger, pull up, no. Richardson kept it alive. And now it's Skolnick. Great hustle by Brandon Streeter.
Yeah, first Troy Kessel put it all on the floor back here, hustling for the loose ball. Greg Richardson jumped about 4 times in succession to get his hands on the rebounds. That's the kind of hustle we didn't see out of Gettysburg last night.
And in case you just joined us, Scott Graybill with a 38-point effort. Weaver, no. Good rebound by Kessel. Warriors need a hoop. 69-66, 90 seconds to go in the first OT. Richardson is fouled. Weaver. Weaver. Second foul on Josh Weaver. Possession arrow favors Manheim Township as well. So Richardson really needs to hit both of these.
These shots are big for Gettysburg.
He's got 20. One of his top point nights since coming over to Gettysburg last season.
I think it's by far his best night so far this year, Jeff.
And the Warriors have done a good job of finding him open underneath. He hits them both, and the Warriors trail by 1. 1:20 to go in the first overtime, 69-68, Manheim Township.
Gettysburg in that half-court zone trap. They were able to turn him over early with that.
Good heads-up play by Spinagle. He was double-teamed and called the TO.
I think Troy Kessel may have been right, though. When he reverse pivoted out of that double team, it did look like he changed the pivot feet. Troy was calling for the travel, but the official didn't see it that way.
Nice touch in your opening remarks to congratulate the Gettysburg High School girls team for their triumph in the Bermudian Springs tournament.
Well, they had an excellent tournament, Jeff. I just noticed Brian Jones just checked in at the table. We'll see who he's coming in for. Maybe Troy Kessel needs a breather, or maybe it's for Greg Richardson in that offensive-defensive type substitution that we saw before.
Richardson with 4 fouls, and the Warriors can't afford to lose him now.
No, not the way Greg's played tonight.
But Coach Misty Wilderson really has a nice team this year. They started slow. They missed a lot of their starters. They have the team back, and they're gelling. She's getting balanced scoring throughout the first 10 players, and it's not unusual to have 10 players in the scoring column.
They're a very young team, too, Jeff. It's good things to come for the Lady Warrior program. And the substitution is for Richardson. Looks like an offensive-defensive substitution. If Gettysburg gets the ball back and has a chance, I'm sure we'll see Richardson come back in on the offensive end. There's the trap, and they beat it inside to Weaver.
Nice pass by Graybill. 71-68, and Graybill showing that he's a total team player. He didn't force it when he was double-teamed. Instead, he found a man open for a layup.
I'm watching the bench. We'll see if Richardson checks back in quickly here. Yeah, he is. That's good substitution pattern by Coach Dooley. Same thing that Coach Mowry was doing earlier with Skolnick to save him when he got in foul trouble.
However, when Richardson's not in there defensively, it leaves a void, and I think that last play was evidence of that.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup on Weaver when Greg's not in there. The other thing is when you play that zone trap, the place to attack it is along the baseline, and Manheim did a good job attacking it there. They got the ball to the baseline to Graybill. Weaver came down to the baseline to take the pass, and that's where the shot came from. So they attacked that pressure very nicely that time.
56 seconds to go.
Down 3 points. It'll be interesting to see if Gettysburg tries to go inside to Richardson, or whether they fake it inside, look for the outside shot from Streeter or for Lindsay for the 3. Past history with this team would tend to think that you'd look for the 3 here.
There's no shot clock, so there's no guarantee of a second possession either.
They're going to look for the backdoor cut, but Skolnick steals. That could be the game right there.
Big steal by Skolnick. Weaver hammered, but no call. Spinagle has it batted out of bounds by Brandon Streeter. 32 seconds to go. Warriors need a steal.
Well, they need a steal or they need a very quick foul, one or the other.
Not a bad play by Brandon Streeter. Sends Skolnick to the line.
He hasn't been to the line yet tonight, Jeff, but I saw him shooting in warm-up. He looks like a very good foul shooter. It's going to be a tough situation for the Warriors. If he makes even one of these, it's going to be very tough with only 31 seconds left on the clock.
He'll shoot the 1-and-1. He hits the first, and it's a 4-point spread. He's got them both. Warriors need firepower, and they need it quickly. They trail by 5 with 27 seconds to play. Nice pass to Richardson. It's a 3-point game. Clock running while the ball's bouncing out of bounds. And Skolnick lost it. Good hustle by Troy Kessel to harass Skolnick into the turnover.
Gettysburg's out of timeouts. They're going to have to set a play here from the bench. I look for Streeter or Lindsay after he brings the ball in bounds to come along the baseline and take the three. Here it comes to Lindsay.
He's open. No. Richardson. Almost a chance for the three-point play the old-fashioned way. Good defense, though, by Weaver. He made sure the shot would not go down.
Now, with 8 seconds left, it's going to be interesting. Greg's going to shoot 2. If he makes the first, does he go for the make and then the miss? That looks like it's 5 on Weaver.
So Josh Weaver is history, but his team leads by 3 with only 8 seconds to go in the first overtime.
Frankly, with 8 seconds left, I think Gettysburg, if possible, Greg will try to make them both. If he does, they'll pressure up. If they don't get the steal, they'll take a quick foul. At the worst, there'll be 5, 6, 7 seconds maybe left, and they'll have a chance for 3 to tie it, even if both free throws are made.
Weaver chipped in with 6 points on the night. Skolnick also has 4. So a good job by Skolnick to stay in the game. He's played most of the second half with 4 fouls. Richardson hits it. He's got 22. Timeout, Manheim Township. So Coach Mowry's going to talk about the permutations and combinations here. 24 for Richardson. Forgot about that layup he made moments ago to draw the Warriors back within 3. So a big night for Greg Richardson with 24 points. But a bigger night by Scott Graybill with 38. When we return to action, Richardson will shoot his second free throw, a chance to bring the Warriors back within 1, but only 8 seconds remaining, and the possession arrow favors the Blue Streaks.
Well, again, here's some strategy here. They may try to miss this, hope to get the offensive board, or if Richardson makes, they have to pressure immediately. If the ball gets made, the pass gets made in bounds, they must foul quickly to stop the clock. This isn't like college where the clock stops on a made basket, so they have to foul immediately when the ball comes in, and then try to shoot a 3 if they make both foul shots.
Any full court pressure by Chambersburg last night against the Warriors?
A little bit, and they were successful in it. The Gettysburg didn't play it, excuse me. There was some full court pressure by Southwestern against Manheim, and it did turn them over.
We haven't seen that very much tonight. Richardson missed on purpose, and Gilbert with a rebound, and he's fouled. 6 seconds to go.
1 for 4 from the line for Gilbert, all in the first half. I don't think he's taken his shot. He did. He made a layup, I guess, late in the fourth quarter. Other than that, I don't think he's taken a shot in the second half. So a lot of pressure on this young man. He's only a sophomore, so this is a lot of pressure on him. 6 seconds left. Should be plenty of time if there's a miss and Gettysburg can corral the rebound, get the ball up court. If he makes the first, Gettysburg has to shoot a 3. If he makes them both, it's over.
Kessel with the rebound. And Streeter lost it. Graybill slapped it from behind to seal the win for Manheim Township. And it's all over. The blue streaks. Only fitting that Graybill sealed it with a steal as he had 38 points, an incredible shooting night to bury the hopes of the Warriors. They lose 73-71.
That's a good high school basketball game, Jeff. Graybill just took over there in the third quarter, completely took the game on his own shoulders, carried Manheim. He got some help in the fourth quarter, primarily from Skolnick and Weaver, and Manheim really scrapped back, down 17 at halftime. They didn't give up. They didn't get their heads down. Gettysburg can't get their heads down either. They didn't play a bad basketball game here. They got beat by a team that just absolutely shot the lights out in the second half.
A bitter pill to swallow for the Warriors as they go 0-2 in the tournament to drop to 4-3 overall. Manheim Township raises its record to 2-4. The team that wouldn't quit, Chambersburg and Southwestern, V for the championship. We're going to take off, though, so special thanks to Paul Plank for his lens work, to Tom Sixes and Brian Kiefer for outstanding job on stats, and to you, Roy Kiefer, for joining me here with analysis.
Anytime, Jeff. Again, this is a real nice basketball game. Manheim came in here a little bit down, had a tough shooting night last night, really played an excellent second half, and deserved this win. Gettysburg did not play badly. They certainly played much better than they did last night. Just, again, they ran into a hot shooting ball club, and it's a tough loss for the Warriors. This is a game that I think they came in here tonight expecting to win.
They did indeed, but it didn't work out that way. Stay tuned for the Jim Fallon Show. Don't forget, next Monday night, NCAA Division III women's basketball, the Days In tournament at Gettysburg College, featuring the Lady Bullets. So that wraps things up here from the Wigwam. This is Jeff Cook reporting, saying until next time, sports fans, good night.